Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Gray Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, April 7th, 2023. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? All right, first thing we are getting in the cards is we've got Chariot energy, which we love to see. So one thing I like to point out with our Chariot energy is this is all about unified energy. So really right now, taking that moment to look at the energies around you, what energies are working with you right now, which ones are aligned to your purposes, to your plans, so that you can move things forward in the direction that you desire with the most efficiency. Next card we have coming up right now in our spread. May I please have the second card? Second card in today's spread is, I love to see this as well. We've got a 9 of Swords coming through in its reversal. So what we are also seeing here is there is this moment right now of getting into alignment, really focusing on those energies that are sharing your own desired direction, your own desired ideals, your own desired plans, feeling that movement forward and allowing this to be a clearing of anxieties, a clearing of fears, a clearing of any doubts or insecurities that you have been feeling. This is the easement moment as you see the path ahead of you and you're taking the steps necessary to continue on this way. Continuing the next card in our 5-card spread for today. May I please have the next card? Our center card for today is 10 of Wands. So what we're seeing also today is that there is a sense of completion, of putting in the work, of having put in the effort. It was not an easy journey. We see that often with this 10 of Wands energy, we are still feeling a lot of the weight and the burden that we have been carrying. But we do see here that, again, particularly with this Chariot energy, we are focused on the direction that we are trying to move into. And this is allowing there to be some point where we feel that this burden will be able to be put down and the accomplishment for the work that you have done thus far. The next card we have coming through in our 5-card spread for today is 8 of Cups in its reversal. So this is still marking a bit of a resistance point that we're seeing, because while we do see that there is a lot of drive and direction right now in terms of where you want to go, allowing that perception to be there, seeing the energies around you that you can unify with to get you to where you need to be, having this as a point of easement, feeling there's a point of completion, there is still a moment here of feeling the difficulties or anxieties of moving away from those things that are potentially blocking your path or are not necessarily serving you. This could be representative in this idea or feeling of having that insecurity of making a choice for yourself and carrying through on the choice. So for some of you, this could be a moment where you are feeling that anxiety and taking the choice. For some of you, you have taken the choice, but you may still be feeling some doubts or difficulties as you proceed down this path. But we do see here that there is this understanding that you are reaching, that this is something that you are kind of being moved into, or you must do, because not to do so would kind of just create a stoppage point in terms of your own progress. The final card for our first 5 in our spread today is King of Cups in its reversal. This is going to feel a little bit different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what you feel most aligned to. For masculine energy today, this could be feeling like a bit of an emotional roller coaster. There could be some rockiness in your own emotions, which will be reflected in either one of 2 ways. This will either be feeling like an over emotionality, almost like feeling this overwhelm, having this inability to control one's own emotions, or this could be coming through as like a complete disassociation from your own emotions as you try to manage or really interpret what you are feeling at this moment. While for feminine right now, this could be a lot of concentration towards a manifestation of masculine that you may be feeling some resistance moving away from. And it is this that is creating this like feeling though that while there is this inability to move away, there is something about this masculine that you cannot necessarily emotionally access them due to them either being overly emotional, having way too many emotions, or being completely shut off or disassociated from their own emotionality. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our Chariot energy in combination with the Nine of Swords in its reversal. So moving right now with a sense of direction, with a sense of purpose, unifying with those energies that you feel are aligned in your desires, in your abilities, in what they are also trying to move forward on, and allowing this to conduct you forward to ease some of these anxieties and fears that you're feeling in the meantime, because you see this path ahead for yourself. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with a 10 of Pentacles reverse. So this is very intriguing because there is an understanding now that what is potentially occurring around you, any kind of anxieties or fears that you've been hot carrying or have been weighing you down this week, or for the recent short term, you're starting to acknowledge and understand that they might not necessarily be coming internally as you may thought, but have more to do with your sphere of influence, with the outside energies that are around you right now, that are putting their weight or putting their burden on you. And it is this desire to reach this point of easement that is creating this lack of this like easing on your own anxiety, because you're seeing here that there is a path forward as it relates to movement, to action, with energies that are unified in that collective purpose that is going to help you move away from any of the chaos or uncertainty that you're feeling with some of that other outside social energy that is around you, be it some chaos within your family, a friend group, any kind of, communities that are around you that are creating this point of anxiety or distress or frustration. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, clarification between our Nine of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Ten of Wands. So this feeling of easement, of wanting and having that desire, and even seeing a moment right now or opportunity that some of your anxieties are being shed as you move. Thank you so much for the gift. As you have this point of completion in terms of the work that you're doing, keeping your eye on that completion point. May I please have one card to clarify? This could even be talking about some either internal or actually internal movement happening today, or tangible movement. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through truth. Straight up, simply, no other way to slice it, no other way to dice it. It's truth. You are moving right now in a place where you are not being easily led by illusions. You are digging deep to see the truth and to get the clarity that you need to help you move in directions that you need to move in right now. And even in some of these areas, we're seeing that even if you may not have received all of the clarification that you needed or required, you now have the insight on things that you don't understand enough to give you the course of action in terms of having some productive movement towards where you're trying to go. And this is where we're seeing some of this easing of anxieties or fears that may have been weighing you down over the last few days. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between, thank you for the gift, between our 10 of Wands in combination with our 8 of Cups in its reversal. So feeling this moment right now, having some movement, taking the steps necessary to move in the directions that you need to go into. It may feel like hard work, but it is progress. It is leading you to a completion point. While also, this could be some of the weight that you're carrying, to be perfectly honest. There's something about this course of action that you're taking that feels like it is a difficult burden to bear. There may even be some moments right now where you are feeling some of the anxiety or doubt or difficulty in making this choice. And it is this difficulty that is causing some of this weight that we see, even as you are reaching with the completion point that you're trying to get to. You're succeeding in this, but you're almost resisting the movement that you're taking, even as you're taking it. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now in It makes sense. We've got our Ace of Swords in its reversal here. So what we're really seeing that's happening is that this is a moment that is requiring you to surrender, but acknowledging that there is a victory behind this act of surrender. And that surrender is taking this path for yourself, making this choice, making some kind of change, sticking with it. The difficulty is sticking with it. It's not even necessarily that you haven't made the choice. It's that allowing yourself to continue and to hold that ground and to keep moving forward in the choice that you've made is what is feeling so hard. This is really screaming right now around being able to hold the line, hold your consistency, stand in your integrity as you go forward from this point. The next cards to clarify between our Eight of Cups in its reversal in combination with a King of a King of Cups in its reversal. So again, it's going to feel a little different depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. What we're really seeing here is that for feminine right now, this could be feeling that difficulty in either the choice to move away from a representation or manifestation of masculine that you feel was emotionally cut off from you, or not in a place where they could hold your own emotions because of their emotional outbursts, because of their emotional imbalances. This is either a difficulty moving away from them or feeling the attempt to move away from them, but also feeling in a way like that difficulty or that anxiety or fear even as you try to pull away. While for masculine right now, this is talking about having a difficult choice that you yourself are making, feeling that desire or need not to necessarily want to move it, to make it, or even trying to pull back on your own progress, and feeling a great deal of emotional anxiety around the choice that you are making right now to continue on your progress, which is either leading to an emotional outpouring or feeling disconnected from one's own emotionality. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification. This is where victory lies. This is where victory lies, is what we're really seeing here. So for feminine right now, there is an understanding. The reason you are doing this work right now, the reason you are pushing away, the reason you are holding your choice, the choice that you've made, even in the face of a masculine who may not necessarily be in agreement with the choice that you're making, or may even be in relation to the choice that you're making. We are seeing here that you are really trying to hold firm on this because you are holding on to some sense of victory. And it's very intriguing because with some energies we're seeing here, for some of the energy for feminine, this is all about that choice, about whether to stay or whether to go around this manifestation of masculine, whether you're going to have this energy. Regardless, there is that disconnection point, and it is this feeling right now that the choice that feminine is making right now is the one that they're holding firm because they feel they need to hold firm on their position on this to get that higher level of success or victory. While for masculine right now, this is a movement where we see here that there is some resistance of moving away from some circumstance or situation, anxiety around your choice right now, and feeling a lot of emotionality because you are striving for this point of victory. And it is hard because there may even be some uncertainty with this masculine energy, how to proceed to get the victory that they need, that they're seeking as it relates to their choices going forward from this point. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, clarification between our 10 of Pentacles in its reversal in combination with our Moon card in its reversal. So having this moment of feeling a lot of the anxiety around the chaos of your immediate circle of influence. So any kind of situation right now that you're currently experiencing externally that is making you feel like it is chaotic, that it is unstable, feeling the anxieties of that, but also starting to see and to really reach for the clarity and understanding the truth behind these circumstances and why they appear in this fashion right now. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with a 5 of Swords. You are digging right now for the truth around these things, trying to understand in a hope of getting to some point of resolution, in finding some point in creating this sense of resolution to whatever points of conflicts that you are experiencing externally around you right now. You are allowing this moment of trying to understand them better, feeling like that will help you have a bit of peace as it relates to what is currently occurring, maybe even helping to aid or ameliorate some of that chaos that you're feeling. Almost trying to create or discover that sense of clarity or sanity in a situation that feels difficult or unwieldy or even like unreasonable. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Moon card and the Ace of Swords in its reversal. So there's something very intriguing here, because this is a moment of relinquishment. This is a moment of seeing clearly some kind of facet of the truth, not being like in a state of illusion, and allowing. And there's also something here though around a surrender around this that is leading to a point of victory. So as I mentioned, frequently when we see this Moon card, it doesn't necessarily need to indicate that we're getting all of the facts that we need. It does not necessarily need to indicate that. It could almost indicate to a certain extent that there is a recognition of some of the things that you don't understand, and allowing yourself that point of acknowledging that there is a mystery or an unknown around the circumstances or situations that you're currently facing right now, that sometimes that's all you need to recognize, that's all you need to see to give you the steps that you need to take to move away or to make the choices that you need to make going forward. Allowing this point of what could feel like surrender to this being a point of success. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now in the Page of Swords. So this is very intriguing energy, right? This is a moment of release. This makes a lot of sense because this full moon was a full moon of release. We had this Libra full moon that we just experienced, allowing this point of surrender. And there's something here about allowing oneself to surrender to the truths that you have either discovered within yourself or have been presented to you externally, and something about surrendering to that knowledge, to truly allowing yourself to accept those truths as reality, is what is giving you now that sense of empowerment that you need to be able to go forward in a place of excitement, in a place of courage, in a place of confidence. This is a surrender, and this is why this surrender is leading to a point of victory, because you absolutely had to accept the truth behind these realities, behind these. I feel like what we're really seeing here is almost a moment where you are pushing back against the truths that were coming towards you, trying to resist embodying and truly accepting those truths. And what we're really seeing here is there's a minute now that you are finally surrendering to them. And it's giving you the confidence, and it's now giving you the path, the course of action on what you need to do as you go forward from this point, in that point of acceptance and surrender. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Swords in its reversal in combination with our Six of Wands. So, as I just said, what did I just say? The point of surrender leading to victory, and seeing that victory almost right in front of you, almost right at hand. This is why you're allowing yourself to have this moment of surrender. It is surrendering for a higher cause, for a higher power, for a higher gift that is coming to you, even as you let go in this capacity, understanding that you need to surrender before you have a victory around this. Clarification, please. Clarification coming right now with our, this is hilarious. You still don't want to do it. You still don't want to do it. What is this energy? Like it's really funny. It's almost like a resistance is futile, but resist I shall kind of energy here, which I kind of dig, right? We kind of dig it. We kind of dig it, right? Because what we're really seeing here is, and I love this, it's a beautiful energy. Because it's like you're fighting against yourself to a certain extent. is what we're really seeing, right? But it's an internal battle for the best of reasons. Okay, this is where we're seeing, this is almost like we're seeing a lot. This is some very interesting energy, because this is like heart versus head, id versus ego kind of moment that's happening right now. Because what we're really seeing here, I just need to point this out. We are seeing a moment where you can recognize and understand that there is something that you need to surrender that is going to lead you to immediate victory. That there is a bigger point of success here that you are going to achieve if you just allow yourself to take this moment and surrender to it. But even now the challenge is truly being able to allow yourself to surrender to this, because something about this surrender requires you in a way to have to actively fight to surrender to this degree. It's almost giving me a sense of like someone who's and this is almost giving me a sense of someone who's trying to like cut a bad habit, cut a bad person out of their life, almost like when you're trying to meditate, and like you're meditating and the voices, like the thoughts are invading and you're like pushing them back. This is the kind of surrender energy we're seeing here. This is what I'm talking about with this I need to surrender, but I can't, that we're seeing in this back and forth. So this could feel like a little bit of titchy energy today as you go through this in whatever way this is manifesting in your life. Be this cutting out an individual that you feel like you need to in this capacity, be this a bad habit or something that isn't helping you, be this some kind of change, like whatever this is, it's a moment of surrender that is a nail biter, because it is recognizing that you must surrender to it, but feeling the difficulty in the fact that the surrender itself is a battle. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our Five of Swords in combination with the Page of Swords. So, being a moment right now, not surrendering. Like this is literally like not, this is not refusing to give up on this is what we're really seeing. Whatever this is, however this is manifesting in your life right now, what we're really getting a sense of is this is an act of surrender that is difficult, but you're not giving up on it. You're really holding your ground on this because you feel that this is the point that you need to push through to have that resolution. It is creating some kind of completion point for you right now, but it is requiring you to really rise to the challenge of allowing it to be a point of completion. May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with the Page of Wands in its reversal. So one of the things that is feeling very difficult about this energy that we're seeing is not only are you having this struggle where you're trying to let something end, but you feel like you need to be very present and work through it as you go. There is this feeling that you may be feeling very much like you're doing it alone. That there may be something about not necessarily taking outside advice on it, may not even be sharing this with other people, may even be feeling like someone, like there may be energies around it that you don't want to share because you don't think that what they have to say would be particularly helpful, or they wouldn't understand, is what we're really seeing here. So we're also seeing the fact that you're also staying kind of very insular as you go through this right now. Maybe even like shunning outside advice. If there is, I feel like if there are energies right now that like have any idea around like what you're battling right now or what you're experiencing or what you're trying to like move through right now, you just kind of realize that it's hard to explain to other people, whether it be a situation with a person or something that you're like working through. Like we're seeing a lot of energy here around this being some form of internal battle that you're currently going through. But there is this like point that you're almost building confidence and saying like, I can do this myself. And like not necessarily wanting or needing that outside and energy or influence to come in. Almost wondering or being concerned that it might affect this battle. Like this is something coming through very much about like this being an internal one that needs to be within, right? Just saying like, I need to do this for me kind of thing. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Clarification between our Page of Swords in combination with the Seven of Wands. Having this is the fight, man. This is it. This is that battle, right? This is that battle that you're feeling, right? This is that moment of coming into your power, not feeling like, I got to point out, this is like we saw here, especially with that Hierophant that we got in the cards of the day. You're taking an unconventional step for yourself. You're doing something that you haven't necessarily done before in this way. You're not feeling 100% confident about it yet, and yet they persisted. And yet they persisted because you know that you're going to like learn as you go on this. That this is something that you're letting your own confidence guide you in the space where your knowledge or your expertise is not necessarily there yet, and feeling like this is something that is like a large battle that you need to you're almost being like called to it right now, because it's not even about knowing what you're doing. It's about standing in your integrity on something, feeling like this is a battle that is worth fighting, feeling like this is the battle, like this is the one that you are called to work through right now, regardless of whether you're ready for it. It's almost like, ready or not, it is time to take these steps for yourself. It is time to like stand your ground in this way and to hold your ground, even in that moment of allowing this to be a surrender that requires you to stand in your power, right? May I please get one card to clarify? Clarification. There she is. There she is, coming through right now with our feminine energy, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. It's going to feel like a bit of a different day for masculine and feminine energy, let me tell you, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what feels most aligned to you, because while we see that there's something very emotionally triggering around this right now for the masculine, right? Feeling like this is causing this disruption point in the masculine's connection to feminine. For feminine, this is coming deep into your own femininity. That there's a moment now for feminine where there's something about this fight that is feeling like it is almost an act of nurturing towards yourself right now, towards others. That this is an act that you are kind of working through right now, and you're willing to take this like very like aggressive or very like assertive approach on this and hold your ground, because there's something about holding your ground in this capacity that feels like an act of nurturing. It feels like an act of deep care. The feminine is holding firm on this because this is the expression of the emotions for the feminine on this. That this is so close to the heart space that the feminine will not give up on it because it is so tied to their own emotionality. While for masculine energy right now, this could be feeling like you are going through this battle right now, that there may even be feeling, I'm going to point this out, this may be feeling a little hairy for masculine too, because we're almost seeing here that you, and I got to stress this is wacky. We are seeing here with masculine, this is either coming through one or two ways, or maybe for some masculines in both ways, that there is both a resistance towards a feminine right now, towards feeling a connection to a feminine energy that is in this emotionality place, feeling this emotional connection to a feminine and resisting it, while also at another point feeling this desire to rush forward towards a feminine that you're feeling this emotional connection to. And yeah, I'm going to say for some masculines, the reason that you're feeling so in your feels right now is it's probably the same person. Probably the same person. For some of the masculines, it may feel a little bit easier because this could be representing two different feminines. But I'm seeing that for a majority of the masculines, this feeling of wanting to rush forward but pulling oneself back at the same time, resisting one's own desire to move forward in this capacity, but feeling that pull, that's why you're in your emotional anxiety right now to a certain extent, because you're feeling that push and pull. And there is a feminine here, and there may even be, even as you're feeling this, there may be the presence of another energy that is a supportive feminine energy around you as you are feeling this energy. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. It is wild. Final clarification for these cards right now. between Page of Wands in its reversal and a Queen of Cups. Again, different energy depending on whether you align to feminine or masculine, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. For feminine right now, this is coming into your emotional center, feeling, actually with all of this, even with all of this push or pull, feminine is coming in right now in a moment where they're feeling very much in touch with their own emotional center. Riding out of that full moon, just like right there in it, right? Specifically, right, with some attention being drawn towards a manifestation or some kind of communication you don't necessarily feel is coming through or isn't coming through to the degree or capacity that you would desire. But still, even in the midst of this, standing in your own energy, coming in to your own energy from this point, even in spite of anything that's not coming through to the degree that you could require it. While for masculine right now, this could be feeling like you yourself are not necessarily able to potentially communicate right now. Maybe even feeling some point of intimidation or anxiety, because this is a very youthful card. Almost like having some like childhood trigger potentially getting hit right now in the face of our attention towards a representation of feminine that you really feel this gravitation towards, that you see are in their very nurturing emotional expression and feeling that connection to the emotions of that feminine, but not necessarily being able to be in contact with it. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming right now with our Six of Pentacles. So for feminine, why is this? This is great. For feminine, what's happening right now? Feminine is feeling their emotions and they're just letting them. They're just feeling their feels. Feminine is in this emotional like vibration right now where they're just letting their emotionality like resonate. They're not holding it back. This for the feminine's energy, bearing in mind that this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. This could be that moment of surrender. This is feminine accepting and surrendering to their own emotionality, welcoming in their own emotions, letting themselves feel like it is safe to feel their feelings. And as a result, it's almost like that emotionality is spreading out and they're letting that emotionality kind of resonate around them in any direction, even towards energies that aren't necessarily in communication to them right now. While for masculine energy right now, this is a moment where you may be feeling some anxiety or inability to communicate towards a feminine that you feel is in this point of emotional expression. And it is calling to you to feel this need to want to give forth towards it to some degree. We're seeing that all of this is kind of like rippling out, like even like it's almost like the masculine energy is resisting some of that emotional energy that they're getting from that full moon. But it's like, it doesn't really matter. And this is like the surrendering point, because the masculine doesn't even need to accept it within themselves to a certain extent, because they're just going to be able to kind of receive it from the feminine energy that's around them, that's giving it forth, you know, regardless of whether they're communicating about it or not. Bottom of the deck on this very intriguing reading, we've got our Four of Wands. So in all of this, you know, there's a lot of concentration right now on this immediate moment. There's a lot of concentration that we see happening in this like immediate feeling. But how that plays out, what that looks like going forward, that is the mysterious question, right? There may be some outstanding, I mean, we do see that potentially, especially with this Ten of Pentacles in its reversal here. There's some chaos. There's some outside chaos that's happening right now around both energies. And so this is calling into question what like some of that long-term, like short-term plans or activities look like. But I'm almost seeing here that it's like, this is more of like the planning isn't there, like that looking to like, this could also be feeling like what could feel like a troubling point right now is, even though there is some kind of like connection happening between the feminine or masculine energy, there could be some doubts and anxieties about like what that could actually look like in reality, how to kind of bring this to a point that you can actually see like a bright positive outcome on some situations or circumstances. This could be a feeling of like overall cynicism or anxiety as it relates to some of these manifestations. But this is a point of view, and point of views are easily changed depending on whether the emotionality is there. And what we're seeing here is there's some kind of like emotional unlocking that's happening, particularly off of this full moon. So anything's possible. That is our daily collective read for the day. I just want to thank you so much for being here and sharing it with me. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video with the option of a recording sent to you afterwards. And if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. I want to thank you guys so much for having this reading with me, and we're going to do this again tomorrow.